giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, well, I don't wanna jinx it, baby, and twist myself at the spine. Don't wanna overthink it, baby. It's just twist your body and mine. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, but I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Let's not get ahead of my time. Oh, but I don't wanna miss you, baby. So I stand up and
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the August 12th, 2025 meeting of the City Finance Committee. May I get a roll call, please?
Yes, we'll start with Committee Member Santa Maria,
Here.
Vice Chair Harmon,
Here.
Chair Friedman.
Here. All right. The first item is, is there any members of the public who wish to speak to any items not on today's agenda but under the purview of the Finance Committee? There are none in chambers that I see. Is there anybody online? Please raise your hand.
Chair Friedman, no hands are raised.
All right, we will close general public comment, and now we will turn it over to Ms. Doubles for the item for today.
Thank you, Chair Friedman and committee members Harmon and Santa Maria. My name is Laura Doubles. I'm the Housing and Human Services Manager for the city. And with us here today is our Executive Director of the Housing Authority, Rob Fredericks, and also the Deputy Director, Dale Azam. Thank you for having us here today to present to you a proposal for a loan to the Housing Authority for $3.5 million for the development of property located at 400 West Carrillo Street. Otherwise known, the project name is Jacaranda Court. Description of the property is this is a city-owned property, a 1.1 acre parcel that was formerly used for commuter parking and will be donated to this affordable housing development. It is located at the corner of Carrillo and Castillo Streets. The appraised value is $7,750,000. This is a well-located downtown property, very close in walking distance to State Street, and with substantial retail and service amenities. Is very easy access from the freeway and has bus service. The Housing Authority will own, develop, manage the property, and the new development will be a multifamily rental development with 63 total units, featuring 21 studios, 37 one-bedrooms, and 5 two-bedroom units. And it'll be a 3- and 4-story building. It also includes one on-site manager unit, and it will be restricted to 7 low, which is less than or equal to 80% AMI, and 55 moderate income households, which is less than or equal to 120% AMI. 4 units will be mobility units. 2 will provide communications, featuring hearing and visually impaired tenants features. There will be 63 at-grade parking spaces, and the 7 low-income units will be provided Section 8 vouchers for rental assistance. This is a rendering of what the project will look like as proposed. And the Housing Authority will own the property. The title will be transferred, if it not already has been, to them under the project agreement. And the Housing Authority is requesting today $3.5 million in city funding for development. In addition to the city donating the land, this is to close the financing gap since they lost the investor for the project. The proposed loan terms, as we have done in the past, is a residual receipts repayment term loan, $3.5 million. This comes from the Local Housing Trust Fund with the new Measure I and General Fund reserves allocations. This will be for a 30-year term, 3% simple interest with a maturity date in 30 years in 2055. Here is just a summary of all of the project sources of funding listed here. And as you can see, the two items at the bottom is the city loan land donation and then this new loan if approved today. The total project cost is just under $45 million. And this is a summary of all the uses of the financial aspect to the project. So for long-term affordability, we will be recording a new 90-year restrictive covenant on the property, restricted to 7 low-income and 55 moderate-income households. The 1 manager's unit will be unrestricted. So this has a total cost per unit of $712,086 approximately, and that's the new build because it's ground up. And so the city's cost per unit is about 25% of that new build with the land donation at $178,571. So the financial impacts to the city will be that the fiscal year 26 Measure I and General Fund reserves that were allocated of $3.5 million will be fully expended with this project. It will leave a remaining balance in the Local Housing Trust Fund of approximately $500,000, which is and will be required to remain in the fund for operating costs. And there is, because of that, there would be no additional funding for additional projects until fiscal year 27. There was a $45,000 parking lot revenue that was to be replaced per the project development agreement, and that has been included in all of the costs that was there.
Ms. Doubles, if I may, there's one other financial impact that I just want to make the committee aware of, which is very minor, but it's just a nuance about Measure I that's just worth noting. As council is aware, this is the first full fiscal year of Measure I appropriation. We budgeted about $15.1 million of revenue from Measure I sales tax to come in. That was appropriated through the budget process to go towards funding firefighters and police officers, many other essential services, as well as the $1.5 million transfer into the Local Housing Trust Fund. And so by council taking the action to eventually appropriate and spend the $1.5 million of Measure I money now, you know, it's sort of, if the full amount of revenue doesn't come in at $15 million, as an example, then we would have to sort of, the other functions that are funded through Measure I may have to find other funding sources, such as general fund reserves. So I just wanted to communicate the timing of this action as it relates to Measure I. Again, I don't think it's a major issue, but it's just a consideration that has a financial impact. Thank you.
And with that, we have the staff's recommendation is basically to recommend that the council consider this loan and if so, to introduce and subsequently adopt the ordinance for the amount of $3,500,000. It would be secured by a deed of trust, and then a 90-year affordability control covenant will be recorded as well. It will need a resolution for that budget amendment, and then to authorize the city administrator to execute the amendments that will be needed to the project agreement between the city and the Housing Authority. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Fredericks. He's asked for a little bit of time to talk about the project.
Thank you, Ms. Doubles. Great presentation, and Chair Friedman and committee members. For a little context on why this project, why we're so invested in doing this for the community, I wanted to just review again the regional housing needs allocation issues. And in the last cycle, the fifth cycle, the city met 109% of its above moderate market rate housing goal, but only 16% of low and very low targets, and just 2% of moderate income targets, and with 0 of the moderate income units actually being built in the last cycle. In the current sixth cycle, the trend hasn't shifted much. 70.8% of the above moderate target, it looks like it will be met, 8.6% for low, very low, and 7% for moderate. Jacaranda Court directly targets the most underproduced category. That's the moderate income housing, along with a small but critical low income component. Jacaranda Court, as was explained, is 63 new permanently affordable homes at the gateway to downtown, and 7 of those will be project-based Section 8 overlaid. 55 of the units will be moderate income, deed-restricted moderate income units with 1 on-site manager, and it's perfect location, as Ms. Doubles mentioned. And the city's donated land does not go unnoticed. That is a major public investment, and that anchors the possibility for this development to move forward. And this whole endeavor began in 2019 with a shared vision between the Housing Authority and city staff and the council to serve missing middle, those that don't qualify for low-income housing and those that can't afford market rate. We secured entitlements, a development agreement between our agency and the city, and until recently, we had a private investor to fully finance and build the project. Unfortunately, due to rising costs and interest rates that erased the investors' ability to proceed, they can now earn 5% risk-free with investing in treasuries. So, who can blame them? That's a risk-free investment for them to earn the return that they were needing. So that's the new reality that we're up against. And when they pulled out, we explored every single alternative because we don't want to lose serving this vital need, for serving the missing middle. And the structure that was presented before you today is the best viable path for us to move forward. It does require the additional investment by the city of a $3.5 million city residual receipts loan alongside the land donation. And it's also requiring from us, the Housing Authority, an unprecedented $10 million equity commitment from the Housing Authority, which is the largest single asset investment we've ever made. And I just want to impress upon you that we're stepping to the plate as well for that. And why this matters, again, there's no established financing model for moderate income rental housing. There's no tax credit funding available to take care of 70% of the construction costs like there is with low income affordable housing. And without funding, it doesn't get built. So this project will deliver a 90-year affordability covenant and meet a glaring gap of our housing production. And with the Housing Authority's ownership, it's essentially affordable in perpetuity. As long as we exist, we'll keep that affordable forever. If we don't move now, we risk losing the momentum, the pricing, and the opportunity. The project is shovel-ready, fully designed and positioned to break ground this fall. We've received our third cycle back of plan check to issue the building permit. We expect to have that building permit issued in early September, hopefully. We want to be poised to break ground. The city's support now will transform a long-standing policy goal into a permanent community asset, and we urge your recommendation to fund this final piece and make Jacaranda Court a reality. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Fredericks. Appreciate that. Are there any members? Well, first I'll open up to questions from my colleagues. Member Harmon?
Just a couple of quick ones. Thank you so much, and thank you. Well, I will not editorialize. I'll just ask my questions. Mr. Fredericks, this one's just two quick ones. First, on the sources, are there any loan funds or sources of funds that remain contingent after the allocation today, or is this the last? Like, is there anything that we're waiting for to get to yes, other than today? Any risks?
No, we are going through the underwriting right now with our primary lender, Citibank. We're doing a tax exempt primary loan from Citibank, and we have a sub stack of B bonds that are being issued through Jeffries for that. But they are committed to moving that forward. They're waiting for the commitment from the city to finalize that puzzle piece. And then we are going to the Housing Authority Commission at our September meeting to finalize all the final authorizations for our equity piece and authorizing us moving forward with those other capital stacks that I mentioned to you.
Amazing. But it's not, sometimes we like put forth applications and we think we have like a 90 score and we're likely to get it. It's not like that.
It's not
just
like that at
going out
all.
to the
We're
bond
poised
market.
and they're waiting for this and they're, yes.
Awesome. Great. That's amazing. And then my other question is less sort of specific to this project and more about, can you speak a little bit to the new build costs at $700,000? I think in the past, years past, we've often heard it's $500,000 to build a new. Is it just interest rates and materials, or what's driving that cost up?
All of the above. And in the past, we've heard recently about Bella Vista, our project at 200 North La Cumbre, costing over $1 million per unit. Well, that's both site specific because of the site and the extra grading, and we're building a large podium type of design there to handle the parking because it's large family development there. And so that drives up costs. Also, when we do a development, we pay prevailing wage. We require our contractors to pay prevailing wage because we want people that are working on these developments to earn a living wage while they're doing that. So that drives up 25 to 30% of the costs that would otherwise be there. Now, all that being said, the costs that you heard today for Jacaranda Court, they're not too far off from our costs for our previous developments. Veracruz Village, all studios, 28 studios, that cost us on a per unit $719,207 per unit there, all in. And Jacaranda Court is right around there. So, and we're doing a mix. That's all studios. We're doing 1s and 2 bedrooms at Jacaranda Court. So that drives up costs too as you go into the larger bedroom sizes, and that's also what's causing Bella Vista to be so expensive.
Yeah, thanks. That's super helpful. We may just want, especially those of us who are talking about this from sort of bully pulpits, to start using a more accurate number too, so that we don't put you in a position to say, well,
Yeah.
500 doesn't really
Yeah,
cut it.
and I a decade ago it was the same thing, or over a decade ago when I'd come with my predecessor to these committees, and they'd be shocked to hear, why is this costing $450,000 a unit
How good
for
does that
affordable
sound?
housing? Why are we doing this? And it just costs just march on like everything else. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Yeah.
Frederick.
Any questions? I just have a follow-up. Thank you. Pretty much all my questions or follow-ups were answered in the comments you gave and then right here. But I just wanted to, draw just the attention to go back to slide 8. You spoke to the $10 million commitment that you're doing. The $900,000 developer fee that's being deferred, I wanted to call that out too, and just if you could just explain what that is as well.
Sure. So for every development we do, we build in a developer fee. Low-income housing tax credit developments, the state of California allows a developer fee to pay for the developer's actual costs and work to get all the pre-development, all their time and commitment, and the risks they're taking to get these built. We do that as well, and they allow much higher developer fees than what we noted here. And on this, we're actually deferring, as part of our commitment, that $900,000 developer fee back into the project.
Great, thank you. And my last question, it's tangential to this, and it gets to the number that we were just talking about. And I just want to put it out there. It might be helpful as part of the budget process for next year in front of the council to have the housing authority be part of a full council presentation, just to go over how these projects work, your finances, what you contribute to them, why are the costs so high.
Yeah.
That information is very helpful, because as we're trying to allocate money for affordable housing, the first people see is it's $1 million a unit or 775, but that's the system. It's not the housing authority's cost. And so would you be open to coming back as part of that process, and we can refine it later, but just to give information on how these projects work?
Absolutely. I would love to be able to spend time with council and the public at a council meeting to explain all the machinations we go through. And I'm sure Mr. Azam would be happy to be there with me as well.
Perfect. Thank you. I don't see any further questions here, so I will thank you, Mr. Fredericks, for your time. I need to open up to public comment. Are there any members of the public online that wish to speak to this item?
Chair Friedman, no hands are raised.
I will close public comment and turn it over to my colleagues for comment. Member Harmon?
Thank you, Chair Friedman. I'm so grateful to be here today. This is, you said it in your comments, Mr. Fredericks. I don't know that I can put it better, but a long time coming, and just a huge amount of lift from so many people from well before when I got on council. I mean, it's probably the 10th time I've said this from a dais, but one of the first conversations I had joining city council was on this project specifically. And to see its evolution and just the continued pushing for the benefit of our community to make this happen is profoundly, just personally gratifying in a way that is very meaningful for me. I'm going to get a little emotional. I mean, this was it was like 2 days after I took office, we had a meeting about this with Skip, the 4 of us, so it really is saying something. There's so much, to Chair Friedman's point, so much complexity, and there are so many things that need to come together. And I think having witnessed over the last 5 years this process, I certainly have learned, wow, I mean, it is truly a miraculous feat to get something like this built. And it's so needed. I mean, it just is, it's beautiful. I mean, I think also about where we were with this particular site back in 2019, a lot of complexity, a lot of difficult feelings in the neighborhood, a lot of concern about what was going to happen there. And I think through your work and work at our city, by our city staff, the neighbors are excited, or at least more comfortable than they've ever been before with any of the other proposals. I mean, this is just, it's been a labor of love, and it's really going to be a huge success. And specifically to be targeting this moderate income, I mean, I know we said, I don't know if this is possible. Let's have some fail safes in case it's not possible. But to make it this far and to keep your eye on the prize for our community it's just so wonderful. And that it's breaking ground in the fall is another huge win. I thought, okay, maybe in 2028, but to hear you say September or October, there's a lot of hard days, there's a lot of hard days. I think we all know that. And this is just such it's not one of them, So when the time comes, I would be honored to make the motion to move this on to council. And I just thanks to all involved, truly.
Okay, thank you. Any comments? Member Santa Maria?
Thank you, Chair Friedman. Thank you to our staff for all your work. I mean, just thank you all around. I really want to echo what council member or committee member Harmon said. This is one of those things where, I'm new to the council. I was hearing about this project just as a member of the public, and it was one of those things where, oh, well, wouldn't that be nice, right? And we get we hear so many stories I mean, we always talk about the very low income folks and very equally as important, but you also have a lot of workers and families that are caught in this middle. And, you know, Mr. Fredericks, you mentioned our arena numbers, and I'm very well aware of how far behind we are. And I really, this does really feel like a joyous moment. Like Councilmember Harmon said, it's, you know, we've had to make some hard decisions, and this feels right. You know, this is an investment, a significant investment that the city is making, but this is, like you said, it's a permanent community asset. And I know that this is going to help close that gap, if at least a little bit, in that housing crisis that we have. So, like Councilmember Harmon said, I am very excited. I was honestly kind of shocked that you said we would break ground in September, because I was also thinking, okay, in a few years. I was kind of doing the calculations in my head. I'm like, okay, it'll be now. And wow, I mean, talk about shovel ready. It seems to me from your comments that there aren't very many risks. I mean, this seems to be a good investment all around. So I would be more than honored to second the motion whenever that time comes and really see this come to fruition. And thank you all.
Great, thank you for your comments, and I don't have anything else really to add, just appreciate, it has been a long process. I was there, I remember when you first came on, Member Harmon, and we talked about it, and there were some other community concerns, and this project has more support from the community as well. The other aspect, obviously, we've all mentioned it, is the missing middle. It's nearly impossible to fund those. And then also that it's shovel ready, and by allocating this now, it's not going to get any cheaper than this, as we said. As we know, it's only going to, the cost is only going to go up. So to be able to put this forward with these financial terms, get it on the ground this fall, we'll get more people in there that will be able to stay and live in the community is great. And appreciate the partnership with the Housing Authority. And then also, and it is tough to come back with the land. We'd hope not to, but that was always explained there. That could be a possibility. And with that, it just shows that the financial markets are just so different now than they were when this came in. But for us to be able to partner with you and get this done is great. So with that, I will call for a motion.
I would like to move staff recommendation.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? Hearing none, passes unanimously.
Congratulations.
And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.